very surprised, and it's just like one race too late. Like we were talking about the possibility for some of these other drivers in Cup here in a couple of weeks. Man, what a terrible start to his front row motorsports career with the truck in the truck series this year. I mean, so much promise, and then not being able to deliver, and then as soon as it doesn't matter anymore, put on a clinic at the Milwaukee Mile, which I saw. Yeah, I mean, absolute domination there from one of the oldest racetracks in the country. Um, and really need to see him get it done. I'm glad his shoulder is okay. He
Going to bring that
celebrated a
up.
little
Yeah.
too hard, and I don't think I've ever heard someone celebrate so hard that they dislocated their shoulder. But he says apparently it happens. So like something it's something that's happened before. So glad he's okay there, and it didn't happen during the race, and it was after it was over with. But yeah, cool to see him finally get that chip off his shoulder. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually count towards the championship, though.
Yeah, although I will say this in fairness to him, he's had enough strong runs. They've kind of been outweighed by the finishes down in the 20s and even the 30s as well. But he is 12th in points at the moment, which is basically I guess everybody else is racing for 11th if you don't end up making the top 10 and making it into the playoff field here. So certainly it as bad as it's been, or as up and down as it's been for Layne Riggs. I guess you can make the argument it could have been a worse season. He could have had, some even less consistency than he's had here over the last several races. But last three finishes, a pair of fifths at IRP and at Richmond, and now a win at Milwaukee. And unfortunately, it sounds like, again, another piece of news that we got today. It sounds like the trucks are not going to be back at Milwaukee in 2025, which I think is unfortunate given the history of that track. But for Layne Riggs to give a truck series a send off like that, feels like they just came back, and now unfortunately it's not going to be on the schedule next year. But
Yeah,
still,
I was about to say that. I was afraid it was something that I was told that wasn't supposed to be said, and so I tried to turn
there,
it around. But okay, it is
yeah,
public. Okay,
there were. I don't know if it's been officially confirmed yet, but there were a couple of outlets that were rumoring it yesterday, and I think it's been picked up by some more substantial outlets here today. Here, so I
okay.
think it's essentially all but confirmed at this point.
Just
And again,
forgot where my source came from.
yeah, it's unfortunate because again, like you mentioned, Brandon, there's so much history there of the track, and I think it's a shame that the Truck Series sounds like they couldn't come to a deal. It sounded like to me, NASCAR wanted to be there, but the track wanted them to be there just for whatever reason. I think there's been some sort of breakdown in negotiations with the city, or funding, or whatever the case may be there. But it's unfortunate it's not going to work out.